Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. It's a pleasure to follow such fine speeches from my honourable friend for Brecon, Radnor and Cumtai, whose recollection of the 3 newspapers in his constituency is incredibly impressive, and I encourage him to tell us all about his achievements in those pages over the next few years. Also, the honourable member for Derbyshire Dales, whose descriptions of Dovedale and Chatsworth House I remember fondly from holidays in my youth, and also playing rugby in Matlock and Ashbourne. And then my honourable friend for the South Cotswolds, whose descriptions of farming as standing in the fields in all sorts of weathers recalls my experiences of playing rugby in the Derbyshire Dales all those years ago. I don't exaggerate when I say it's the honour of my life to serve as the Member of Parliament for Sutton and Cheam. I'm so grateful to the thousands of residents who put their trust in me just a few months ago. I promise them I will always do my very best, and for our communities from Sutton to Worcester Park, Cheam to Belmont and everywhere in between. I hope I'm already going some way to repay the trust they have put in me by voting to end the 2-child benefit cap, voting to save the winter fuel payment, and already helping hundreds of you with issues and concerns through my office. And to the people who didn't vote for me, or didn't vote at all, who have lost all faith in politics and its servants, please allow me the opportunity to restore some of that trust. To my predecessor, Paul Scully, thank you for your 9 years of public service to Sutton and Cheam. Politically, we agreed on very little, but I know you did what you thought was best for our residents. I also take the opportunity to pay tribute to my Lib Dem predecessor, Paul Burstow, who served for 18 years and whose name is still fondly remembered by so many residents on the doorstep. And to my loved ones, my wife and children, my mum and dad, I would not be here without your support. As the father of the house may remember, my dad stood against him in Gainsborough in 92 and 97. Therefore, I must thank him too for helping to ensure that I am the first member of my family to find themselves in this place rather than my old man. Sutton Cheam is small, but it is perfectly formed. It is the smallest of all the 72 Liberal Democrat constituencies. Our boundaries have remained largely unchanged for 80 years, which alone must prove that Sutton and Cheam is the greatest constituency in the country. They got it right in 1945 and they haven't felt the need to change it ever since. I could give you a guided tour of our beautiful constituency, but for me, it's the people who make up our community and make Sutton and Cheam what it is. We've got recyclers, repairers and reusers, improving sustainability and protecting our planet. We have litter pickers, bulb planters and neighbourhood watchers, making our areas safer and cleaner and better to live in. We have Sutton fans, Dons fans, Palace fans, Chelsea fans, and even the odd long-suffering Spurs supporter. We've had recent arrivals of Hong Kongers and Ukrainians and Afghanis coming to Sutton to find a new home. We have long-established communities of Tamils, Ahmadiyas, Jews, Hindus, Sikhs and Muslims. We have Anglicans and atheists, Catholics and Methodists, all building the unique mosaic of our communities. Our local football team, Sutton United FC, play at Gander Green Lane in my council ward, where their fight to rejoin the Football League continues. A recent pointer piece from other Lib Dem constituents, Eastleigh and Yeovil, are going to help us get there. But the generous people of Woking gave us 3 points only 2 weeks ago. So I thank my honourable friend for that. The football club proves every year, with their fantastic community outreach work, the value of our local football clubs. In politics and football, the people of Sutton know that their colour truly is amber. That's why they've had a Liberal Democrat-run council for almost 40 years, our longest-running local administration in the country. But as many of my colleagues will know, there is only so much that councils and councillors can do to tackle the biggest problems that governments have failed to solve for years. That is why I decided to run for election to this House, to tackle the national issues that people in my constituency face. For as long as I can remember, I've wanted to fix things. I went from building Lego as a child to rebuilding gearboxes as a teenager. I attended my local comprehensive school in rural Lincolnshire and growing up, many of my friends and classmates were involved in the critical work that farmers do to keep food on our table and act as stewards for our environment, vital tasks that this debate correctly highlights. At school, I served as a prefect alongside the Honourable Member for Keighley and Ilkley. And whilst our political paths have diverged since we worked together last, more than 20 years ago, to arrange the Deaston School's sixth form leavers ball, I am proud that we are part of the largest cohort of state-educated MPs in history. My passion for fixing things led me to London, to Imperial College to study engineering, which led to many years working in the transport industry around the world. But there is so much more that needs fixing in our country than planes, trains and automobiles. Raising my family in Sutton and Cheam with my wonderful wife, I've seen firsthand the broken cogs and blown fuses across our public services, from the NHS and social care to education and to policing. In today's Britain, the social contract has been broken. In our politics, cynicism and self-interest have replaced service and duty. And many feel that it is simply no longer true that if you work hard and play by the rules, you'll enjoy the security and opportunity that everyone deserves. A fair deal no longer exists between the British state and the people, and this is evident across every policy area. As an engineer, I feel confident in saying the very foundations of our country are broken, and it's time we picked up our tools to fix them. As the Lib Dem frontbench spokesperson for our capital, I will hold the government to account for all Londoners. Fixing London's creaking infrastructure, a never-ending housing crisis, pushing for reform of and proper funding for the Met. And if you've been listening to the Lib Dems for the last few years, you'll know exactly what the River Thames is full of. There is much to be said on all of these topics, but I'd like to finish today by highlighting one that is dear to me and my constituents: hospices. One of the first emails I received after being elected was from our local hospice, St Ralph's, searching for help to stop £1 million worth of funding cuts, which would see staff made redundant and clinical services slashed. These cuts will put Sutton's GPs, hospitals and district nurses under huge and unmanageable pressure. They will leave families abandoned, unsupported and in genuine distress at a time when they need kindness and support the most. And for the patient, these cuts could tragically hasten their passing and deny them their dignity. In this Parliament, we have an opportunity to build a better plan so that people have somewhere to spend their final days in the comfort and care we all as human beings deserve. I look forward to working with members from across the House if they'll pick up their tools with this engineer who knows a thing or two about fixing things. Because together we can fix our country, we can restore trust and we can deliver hope. Thank you. Yeah.